Hey, it's Luke John Harrison. Just before we get into this video, make sure you like, comment and subscribe to this channel. Make sure the bell notification icon is on. I would love to hear from you, and it only takes 1 second of your day to make mine. Let's get into it.
So I was thinking about overwhelm before, and being overwhelmed with a lot on your mind and a lot to think about. And I wrote a book called How to Stop Overthinking, actually, which was kind of on the subject of having a lot going on in your mind, a busy mind and lacking focus. And I'm writing another book actually at the minute, which will be due out this year, on the subject, which is written 5 years after, as I've gained more knowledge and more expertise. But it's something that I think everybody goes through, is this overwhelming attitude, this overwhelming mindset of there's just so much swimming on, you've got to do this, and then you've got to be here, and then you've got to look at this, and then you've got to figure out that, and then you've got to make sure that this happens, and then this doesn't go ahead, and etc, etc, and you've just got so much swimming. And I get what that's like. I run my own business, and my head's busy all the time. Actually, it's very busy. But a lot of people ask us how I get a lot done, and how I manage to write books and coach people and still have time with my partner and enjoy fun times as well, and still have time to play video games and stuff like that. And the thing is with overwhelm, it's like, overwhelm is just not being clear on your priorities. It's having a lack of perception behind what is a priority. So you have a lot going on in your head and you don't realize what's the most important thing. It's almost like everything's important, but everything can't really be that important. It has to be a certain amount of things that are truly a priority, and things that could probably be let go or delegated to somebody else. And I think what's important is we start realizing what our priorities really are. And it's difficult sometimes to get our heads around that in terms of what our priorities really are, because there's always something to do, isn't there? There's always something to do. Like, we'll always get to that point where we've got something to do, somebody to please, something to think about, something to be getting on with. Like, if you're bored, and I mean bored as in I've got nothing to do, I mean, I don't really know what that's like. And a lot of you watching this won't know what that's like, because you're always go, go, go people. But if you're bored, you definitely don't have many priorities. But you've got to start thinking about the things that are truly valuable to you. And you know what that number one thing is? Your health. Physical and mental. That gets, for most people, very little attention, because they're always trying to do something for somebody else. They're always trying to please a boss, please a family member, do something for a friend. They're always going down the route of trying to please somebody else at the expense of their own energy, their own mental focus, their own physical efforts. And here's the thing, it's not to say that you should be totally selfish and self-absorbed and only do things that benefit you. At the end of the day, everything benefits you anyway, regardless if you're doing it for somebody else, because you get something off from it. If it wasn't self-serving in some way, then you wouldn't do it. The whole self-sabotage thing is a myth. Really, you're doing something because it brings you some kind of benefit, even if you don't particularly want to do it. It brings you a benefit. But what is a priority? And if you think about priorities for yourself, like I say, health is number one. It always will be for me as well. Mental health and physical health, two combined together, equally as important. If not, the mental could sort of tip it as a side of actually being the more important. Because you can still be physically unwell, but mentally good and mentally sound and mentally happier. Your perspective and the way your mindset is has a lot to say about that. So I just want you to consider today, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like life is just, there's too much to do, too little time, consider what's really important for you. Imagine family's important for you in some way. So how can you dedicate some time so they feel appreciated? Imagine your health is important. So how can you dedicate a little bit of focus towards making sure that you get that walk in, or you go to the gym, or you drink that water today, or you make sure you have a healthy salad for lunch rather than your typical Greg's or Dixon's or any other shit convenience store you might be stopping at. How can you do that little bit for your health? How can you do that little bit to move you forward in your sort of mental capacity today to make yourself feel a little bit more organized, I guess you could say. For me, organization's a massive value. So the more organized I get my finances, for example, the more organized I get my schedule, for example, the more organized I get my physical space, for example, if I need to tidy up some things, that is a priority. You know, so there is obviously all the time we've got these things that are going on in our head. I'm overwhelmed, I've got a lot going on. But if you get the priorities done, that overwhelm will be managed so much easier. So much easier. Unbelievably easier. But we've got to first start to make at least a mental list of what is a priority for us. It's a priority, obviously, to get our work done, but at the same time, not at the expense of our family, our health, and our mental health. Yeah, we've got to get our work done, we've got to earn the money, we've got to put food on the table, etc. I've got to pay the bills, whatever. But that doesn't have to be at the expense of your physical health, of your mental health, of your personal sanity. It doesn't have to be. We choose it to do that. There's other things that we can be doing as priorities to help us with that overwhelm and help ourselves deal with the emotions of it easier. So I hope this helps you today. Have a great day.